Have you ever read the beginning of a really good book? The part that builds to that one big moment? That's kind of what the Old Testament is. It's the first part of God's big story. In the very beginning, God created absolutely everything, including us. But not long after, sin entered the world when Adam and Eve chose their own way instead of God's way. From that moment on, everything was broken. People, creation, and most importantly, our relationship with God. But out of God's love, He had a plan to fix it. He made a promise, a rescue plan that centered around His Son, Jesus. That plan started when He told Abraham he would be the father of many nations. Abraham had a son named Isaac, who had two sons, Jacob and Esau. And then Jacob went on to have 12 sons. God's people, the Israelites, were growing. This scared some of the other nations, and God's people ended up in slavery for hundreds of years. But God wasn't done. He used a man named Moses to lead His people out of Egypt. After crossing the Red Sea, He gave them the 10 Commandments to show them how to be people who followed God. As they continued to learn how to follow God, He chose kings like David to lead His people and even promised that one day a forever king would come from David's family. Through ups and downs in the Israelite story, God never turned His back on them, even when they made big mistakes. He used prophets, big moments, and courageous people to show that He was with them. God kept on reminding His people, "I haven't forgotten you. A Savior is coming." For hundreds of years, the world waited. People wondered when and even if the rescuer would come. Then, one quiet night in a little town called Bethlehem, God's promise came true. At just the right time, Jesus was born. The rescuer, the forever king, the savior of the world is here. A baby wrapped in swaddling cloth lying in a manger. Not what anyone was expecting, but exactly what everyone needed. The Old Testament shows us just how much we needed Jesus. Our relationship with God was broken. The New Testament brought hope for all of God's people. Because of His great love for us, God sent His Son, Jesus, to make things right again. The whole Bible is one big story, God's story, and it all points to Jesus.